you just the way you want, the length that I have to give you everything you want, 'cause you're my reason I need.
What up, motherfuckers? Welcome back to a brand new video. You know, it's just me, Leafy is Queer, and today I'll be talking about a drama YouTuber. That's right, I'll be talking about a drama YouTuber. And I get it, you're probably begging on your knees, wanting to know who this motherfucker is. Today, I'll be talking about the man, the myth, the e-girl lover, Tipster himself. So without further ado, grab your popcorn and let's get right into this shit, motherfucker. Tipster is a YouTuber with over 100,000 subscribers as of the time making this video. I talked about him in the People I Hate on YouTube video, but while I was editing the video, it was revealed that he accused someone of suicide baiting while they were actually suicidal, and I was editing the video at the time, and I didn't want to add more to the segment, so I just said in conclusion, fuck this guy. This guy is a piece of shit.
It's one of my biggest criticisms of like the commentary community is like when it comes to mental health, how lightly that shit is taken.
Tipster had been telling several people about my suicide attempt. Not only that, but he was claiming that I had faked it.
Why? Why is Tipster claiming he faked this?
Mental health is something that like shouldn't be taken lightly.
Tipster then mocks him and says, "Oh, I'm depressed. I'm gonna take a bunch of pills now." Fuck off with that bullshit, dude.
Even if you suspect that somebody may be lying, you probably shouldn't take it lightly just to be on the safe side.
Tipster is going around telling people that Colton faked a suicide attempt.
When people express intentions to commit suicide, the people need to take that shit more seriously, rather than just brushing it off like, oh, they're just using mental health to deflect.
Colton says this isn't suicide baiting. Tipster says maybe some people buy that bullshit, but I don't. I ain't got time for your bullshit. You can't own up to the fact that you are still a suicide baiter. You're on your fucking own. Coming from Tipster, again, the empath, the guy that's always about mental health, hearing people out.
How is this not completely destroying every credibility you have about none of what you say means anything now?
So yeah, super weird, obviously, how he's talking about, like, you know, mental health and hearing people out, and then just call someone a suicide baiter while they're actually suicidal, you know? But the first thing I do want to talk about is his content, so let's get to that right now. I don't really understand the appeal of Tipster's content, alright? I like how I found a YouTube short or whatever, like him reviewing the Leafy versus Keffel's drama or whatever, which I'll get to in a minute. And, you know, he's like, oh, who the fuck looked up to this guy? This guy is so fucking stupid. What's the appeal to him or whatever?
Dude, the ADHD is showing with this guy so fucking hard.
What do? Okay, they remove the balls, they remove the penis, they remove the testicles, the creation of the vagina. Well, how did they do it? There's no way they just like cut a hole in there and then...
Dude, this is the guy that like, okay, all right, I kind of have to look at myself internally. I have to look back at 2016 me and say, what the fuck did I see in this guy? This is the guy that literally the entire commentary community back then and even now today, they fucking idolize this guy as if he's a fucking deity or some kind of god or some shit like that. And he is the stupidest motherfucker on the goddamn planet. Why do people look up to this fucking guy?
Now, I'm not trying to defend Leafy or whatever, like he's my god or something or whatever, and I don't condone his like transphobic actions or anything like that, but there's a reason why people watched him back in 2016. And we all know that reason is to find out what the fuck type of drug he's on. And maybe I am biased because, you know, this is basically just a parody channel of him or whatever, but at the same time, why the fuck do people watch Tipster? No, I'm genuinely curious, why do people actually, like, unironically sit down and decide to watch Tipster? I'm guessing by looking at his content, I'm guessing the main reason is that he reviews drama, which, fair enough, I guess, but anyone can sit on their ass and review drama on the internet. But maybe his content or whatever isn't really my cup of tea and stuff like that. And before I get to him as a person, I would just like to say, yes, I know he is friends with Keffels. I don't give a fuck. I'm not really going to mention that throughout this video. I'm just going to mention that throughout this one segment right now, just to get it out of the way. I don't know who this Keffels bitch is. In fact, I had to look her up just for the sake of this video.
Says, Keffels is an ableist. Why do we always uplift the absolute worst human beings possible as representatives? And attached to it is this clip from her stream.
Hold on. Retard break. I need a retard break. Give me a retard break for like two minutes. Give me a retard break. Okay? I can't keep listening to retards.
Warning, racism. Ketfuls is now encouraging her followers to infiltrate tender queer Twitter to spread misinfo and mistrust by using Pycrew avatars. She suggested her followers pretend to be black, the end result being that LGBT bi POC would then be viewed with suspicion as a result.
You just got here, are we spreading misinfo? Yeah, I'm doing gay ops on tender queers by encouraging my, I'm encouraging my followers to make Pycrew accounts and infiltrate tenderqueer Twitter. Because once they catch wind of the plan, they're going to all become incredibly suspicious of pick crews and they will eat each other alive. Does it matter which pick crew? No, just use a random one. But the more diverse, the better. Like, make it like a black butch lesbian.
But anyway, we're going off topic because this video is about Tipster, you know, and his content and, you know, how he is a person. But in conclusion of this statement, I think his content is fucking boring. It's not for me, and I just think it's just shit. I don't understand who the fuck watches this guy. Like, you could literally get the same thing, probably explained better out of someone like Augie RFC or something like that. There's no reason to fucking sit there and watch a Tipster video. Yeah, we all know Tipster's just the biggest mental health advocate of like all time. I mean, just look at this clip where he's literally, you know, accusing someone of suicide baiting when they were actually suicidal. Wow, just such a big mental health advocate, am I right, guys? So without further ado, let's play that shitty clip already.
It's one of my biggest criticisms of like the commentary community is like when it comes to mental health, how lightly that shit is taken.
Tipster had been telling several people about my suicide attempt. Not only that, but he was claiming that I had faked it.
Why? Why is Tipster claiming he faked this?
Mental health is something that like shouldn't be taken lightly.
Tipster then mocks him and says, "Oh, I'm depressed. I'm gonna take a bunch of pills now." Fuck off with that bullshit, dude.
Even if you suspect that somebody may be lying, you probably shouldn't take it lightly just to be on the safe side.
Tipster is going around telling people that Colton faked a suicide attempt.
When people express intentions to commit suicide, the people need to take that shit more seriously, rather than just brushing it off like, oh, they're just using mental health to deflect.
Colton says this isn't suicide baiting. Tipster says maybe some people buy that bullshit, but I don't. I ain't got time for your bullshit. You can't own up to the fact that you are still a suicide baiter. You're on your fucking own. Coming from Tipster, again, the empath, the guy that's always about mental health, hearing people out.
How is this not completely destroying every credibility you have about none of what you say means anything now?
Loverx made a pretty good video on, you know, the Tipster situation and how we accused someone of suicide bait when they were actually suicidal. So I'll be playing a few clips from that as I also try to explain the situation myself in pretty broad detail. So the three people that were involved were these people named Colton, Bonnie, and of course, the biggest mental health advocate, Tipster himself.
But the people involved in this story is Colton, the guy being falsely accused, Bonnie, his ex who accused him, and Tipster.
So the main thing that Colton was being accused of were, one, sexual stuff and false pretenses of just being platonic friends, and faking suicide by, you know, swallowing a bunch of pills, I guess.
She accused him of two main things. One, that he was creepy and pushy in terms of being sexual and apparently trapped Bonnie under false pretenses of being just platonic friends. And two, that he faked a suicide attempt one night by swallowing a bunch of his sleeping pills. But soon after this accusation, Bonnie went live on stream to admit that she was bullshitting and she backtracked her first statement. But in regards to the fake suicide, the details in that case was that he told Bonnie that he wanted to get high one night because he was depressed and took some of his sleeping pills. But in her accusation, Bonnie insisted that she believed that Colton was trying to make her think that he was suicidal when she thought he wasn't.
So, you know, you think Tipster, the mental health advocate, you know, would help his friend Colton out, considering he has had a history of, you know, issues with his mental health and stuff like that.
But this guy Colton has a serious history of mental health problems, and he goes on to explain that in a document that he dropped. Especially over something as serious as this, you would think Tipster would be the last person to judge the legitimacy of someone else's mental health struggles.
One thing that sucks about the internet is that people aren't allowed to feel anything. You can't hurt. You can't show emotion. These things are seen as weakness, but in reality, it's a sign that we are human, and being honest about our pain makes us stronger. It helps us heal.
Oh, so here's Colton being honest about his pain. You know, he's suicidal. He was in a ward for 3 days.
Wait, what the fuck is going on?
It turns out Tipster was helping out the false accuser the entire time behind the person's back. And not only that, he just straight up lied to his face as well.
Tipster ended up being the one who was behind these false accusations, helping out the accuser Bonnie by feeding her false information that Colton really was a suicide baiter and had a history of doing the same thing.
And being told by a bigger influencer that, hey, he's done this in the past, and then he'll like tell people that or like he'll harass people when they call for wellness checks. Like it kind of adds up, you know? And being told by a bigger influencer.
So when Bonnie accused Colton of suicide baiting, she backed up her claim by using this appeal to authority that some bigger influencer is telling her that Colton has a history of suicide baiting, which gives more legitimacy to her accusation all of a sudden. And this bigger influencer happened to be the Big Tip. Where after Colton heard about that there was some bigger influencer saying these things about him, he went on to try to figure out who was saying this, and when he asked Tipster straight to his face on if it was him, Tipster lies, bold-faced, to him. Are you telling Bonnie that I suicide baited? Tipster says, huh? I don't think it's you, but some woman in the community is claiming on Twitter that I suicide baited because a large creator in her DMs is claiming it. I just want to make sure it isn't you. And Tipster says, who is Bonnie? And then Colton replies saying, okay, you're cleared, haha. And Tipster says, okay, lol.
Tipster ends up getting caught lying about this later on.
But just 2 hours later, Tipster gets caught lying about this, where Colton notices in his live stream chat that Bonnie was a mod in his chat.
I literally 2 hours after initially confronting him and him denying it, I went into his live chat because he was live at the time, and I saw Bonnie was a mod.
He pretended he didn't know who she was, but then you saw that she was a mod the same day. So immediately you caught him on bullshit there.
So when Colton, calls out Tipster for, this weird ass, weird shit or whatever, Tipster continues to fucking make fun of him and say that, oh, you're not really suicide baiting. Fuck off with that bullshit, dude.
And when Colton goes to call Tipster out for this, Tipster shits on him, continuously telling him that he doesn't believe he's suicidal. He says, I warned her, and less than a week after I warned her, you did it to her too. And Colton says that isn't suicide baiting though. And Tipster says, maybe some people buy that bullshit, but I don't. And Tipster says, oh, I'm depressed. I'm gonna take a bunch of pills now. Fuck off with that bullshit, dude. So he's just clowning on Colton for being depressed and suicidal. Based mental health advocacy from Tippy. Colton replies, then why would we remain on call to hang out for hours immediately after? I tried to kill myself, then immediately watched movies with her and talked for hours. Make it make sense. This is all besides the point that you absolutely did gaslight me. By the way, I've owned up to everything I've done wrong. She hasn't, and neither have you. And Tipster says for the last message, look, I ain't got the time for your bullshit. If you can't own up to the fact that you are still a suicide baiter, then you're on your fucking own. I'm not gonna waste my time with someone who clearly can't see the error in their ways. I wish you nothing but the best, but I'm out. Peace. The tip is out. And after Tipster got called out on this, people in the community started reporting on it, and Tipster went on a blocking spree. Colton explains in his document saying, around last Christmas Eve when this happened, Spondyle, a community member, reported this publicly, and Doc streamed it. And Tipster went on a blocking spree.
Sorry, those are pretty long clips, but my point here is that, Tipster, the same one who says, mental health is important and stuff like that, accused someone of suicide baiting while they were actually suicidal and tried to cover it up like it was nothing. So yeah, I don't understand why the fuck people like Tipster at all. His content is shit. He is shit as a person. So I might as well get to the conclusion now. And, I might as well get to where he's at now, ever since he got exposed for, the suicide bait accusations or whatever. In conclusion, Tipster is an absolute piece of shit. He is a false, quote-unquote mental health advocate, saying he's a mental health advocate. And then he goes on to accuse people of suicide baiting and also, making sure to cover that shit up, so no one will notice. Also, I forgot to mention this about the short or whatever. You could clearly see that the accuser of Colton, Bonnie or whatever, is in his chat. and she's still a mod. So, you know, I'm not trying to say anything, I'm just saying, you know, that says a lot about Tipster. His content is also still fucking sucks ass, like, obviously. I already mentioned his content, but anyone can review drama on the internet. Like, it doesn't have to be Tipster. Like, anyone can fucking do it. There's no reason to watch Tipster's long-ass fucking drama reviews or whatever, when someone could easily just, like, pop up tomorrow, make a 10-minute video about like some random internet drama, probably about like Keffels or something, and their shit is better. I think that's really all I have to say. Thank you for watching, you know, whatever, peace.
Let me
You're
explain
a disingenuous piece of shit, you know that?
Why are you getting excited? Can you just settle down?
Because
like,
you're a
for 2 seconds
fucking
so I can talk?
dishonest fucking hack.
Are you done yet? Or can I?
Yeah,
can I
we are done. Get the fuck
Okay.
out, you stupid bitch.
Oh shit, we're fucking live. Hey guys, Dixter here, and before I deactivate my Twitter account after another emotional breakdown, my wife doesn't like it when you guys point out I'm flirting with girls online. So I'd appreciate it if you'd stop it.